Hello everyone and welcome back to AmmoMart.com, where you can find real firepower online. We're once again on the range here at Ghost Town, and as promised, we're going to demonstrate the stopping power of the .357 Magnum cartridge, as well as delve into whether it would be a potential good choice as a concealed carry caliber. We're going to use our normal setup, which for those of you who may not be informed, is the FBI standard for ballistic testing. We're going to be operating at 10 feet with 10% ballistic gelatin. Ours is actually 15, however, and as you'll notice, if we look downrange, we've put the proper close onto the face of the ballistic gel, which is what their criteria called for. We have t-shirt material doubled up, fleece, as well as some denim material. We're going to be using two different types of ammunition today, as we typically do. One is a jacketed hollow point self-defense round, and the other ones are reduced recoil, more cowboy action loads. However, the grainage is the same at 125 grains per projectile. I would also, as we continue with the test, use two different types of pistols because of the different barrel length. The Smith & Wesson Model 686 has a 4-inch barrel, and our Smith & Wesson Model 27-9 has a 6.5-inch barrel. And maybe we can potentially discern whether or not that extra barrel length gives the 27-9 some added firepower in speed. But all that remains to be seen. A quick word for all of our viewers. I don't shoot a ton of revolver anymore, and when I do, I have a tendency to have too high of a grip on the frame, which is a pretty common mistake. So hopefully this will go well, and you'll just have to bear with me. I'm going to run these towards the top of the ballistic gel. The first round will be the reduced cowboy load, followed by a self-defense round. Now I must go reset because we've had a technical difficulty. That was actually a self-defense round. My bad, I had them staggered incorrectly, so what I'll do is finish with another self-defense round followed by the reduced recoil bullet. Sorry about the confusion, folks. Here comes another self-defense round, followed by reduced and we got an error message on that one. Substantially reduced recoil between the two bullets. So we're going to try another reduced recoil round. Maybe we can get it to read. Also an error message. Awesome. So my producer Matt tells me it read 785 before it went to error. So let's go see what the gel looks like. So we have two of the self-defenders that you can tell are coppered or jacketed. Makes sense. And then we have at least one of the reduced recoil loads, and I can't quite see if there's another one in there, but certainly one. The FBI claimed that they didn't want any more than 20 inches of penetration. This is a 16-inch block, so we're getting onto the outer edge of that for sure. And interestingly enough, that one seemed like it would be beyond the 20-inch mark, even at a greatly reduced speed. So let's switch to a longer barrel length and see how that goes. I'll try to stay towards the bottom edge of the ballistic gel with our Smith & Wesson 27-9. First three will be reduced recoil loads, followed by 3 jacketed hollow points. No reading on that one. No reading again. 1460. 1377. So you can see I did take a couple of bouncers, which are kind of cool. You can see the vapor trails, so to speak. This would obviously be a reduced recoil load. And of course the copper, as we stated, was the self-defense rounds or jacketed hollow points. All of them, even after taking the bouncer, have a substantial amount of penetration, and it's difficult to tell through the block how much mushrooming we actually got with the Ammo Incorporated brand ammunition. I don't think I would want to be on the business end of it regardless, so we'll get back to the lab, tear it apart, and see what we got. Either way, even out of a Smith & Wesson Model 27-9 and a jacketed hollow point, substantial recoil impulse to the handgun. Controllable, but substantial. We had talked earlier about the .357 Magnum caliber as a concealed carry weapon. I have a Smith & Wesson Model 686 with me today with a 4-inch barrel. And I know what you're thinking, most concealed carry revolvers are actually a 2-inch barrel, but I didn't have any of those available to me. So we're going to try it with a 4-inch because I know a lot of people prefer something a little bigger with that much .357 power. I haven't shot revolver for a while. I do have the weapon loaded up with some 125 grain Buffalo Cartridge Outlaw ammunition, and let's see what happens. Range hot. We'll put the timer on that and see what kind of result we got. As you can tell, long double action trigger, a little slower cadence between shots, but I found the recoil quite controllable with this ammunition. What I'd like to do is get some actual self-defense ammunition and see if it changes my performance at all. So we'll be right back with you. In the first demonstration, I used this Outlaw brand from Buffalo Cartridge. These are actually made for cowboy action shooting, but it does have a reduced powder charge in the case, allowing the shooter to find some more controllability. A lot of people like that sort of thing for training, and you'll find another school of thought that says you should only train with the same type of power you're going to experience in an emergency situation. I'll leave that up to our viewers at home. Personally, I think if you're going to spend a lot of time on the range, reduced powder charge is my preference. The ammo we're going to use today was provided to us by Buffalo Trading Company. This is Ammo Incorporated, 125 grain jacketed hollow point, same projectile weight as the range rounds we just fired. Range is hot. As you would expect, substantially more recoil impulse to the gun, however, manageable, and I do think I recorded hits. You may have noticed by now that we omitted the 50-meter shots with the .357 Magnum caliber. One of the reasons for this is that it was never really required as a NATO spec round, so I didn't think there would be a lot of practical information about it. You couple that with the idea that people have hunted very large game with .357 Magnum pistols for years. It seemed to be a question that spoke for itself to me, that yes, the round is quite effective at any range, including 50 meters. That's why they use them in lever guns. They work. I hope you've enjoyed this brief demonstration on the stopping power of the .357 Magnum cartridge. I can honestly tell you that even though we were using some pretty heavy and large frame revolvers from Smith & Wesson, the shooter does notice a substantial snap to the wrist and felt recoil. Manageable, but very noticeable. I think that that's important because as we continue to shorten the frame down, in the near future we will do a true everyday carry demonstration with the .357 Magnum, and my feeling is in the hands of most shooters, it will not be controllable on the second, third, fourth, or fifth round without significant training. It is a powerful round, it's very fun to shoot, and as we discussed, you do get the options of shooting 38 specials out of it, which are a little more affordable and a little more user-friendly. A word on all of this at the end in stopping power. As some of you are probably aware, recently at the Greenwood Park Mall in Indianapolis, an armed citizen stopped a mass shooter. I've noticed in the days since that there's been a lot of interesting comments made from pro-gun and anti-gun people alike. What I would like to remind everybody is, and this is extremely important to me personally, is that act by Elijah Dickens took a ton of training and practice. He began the engagement at 40 yards, and he was 8 out of 10, 80% against an armed subject. That doesn't happen by accident. So please, I encourage everyone to everyday carry. Be as armed in public as you can be. It's important. It's legal. It saves lives. However, if you are not trained, get trained. You must be proficient because every bullet leaving your gun has one of two things attached to it: an attorney or a prison sentence if you happen to hit an unarmed, innocent person. These things don't happen easily. It requires commitment on your part. Please do it. You can see the results, but the results just as easily can be catastrophic on the other side of the scale if you don't know what you're doing. Don't believe the hype. It's not that simple. Please get trained. Normally at this point in our videos, we're wantonly destroying poultry, but in the interest of it being summertime, we decided in this video to use a little cantaloupe. And I can tell you there's very few things in this world I hate worse than cantaloupe. Awful stuff. Oh my.